Hi, 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 hi. OMG. It has been a nightmare of a time me getting back on task, right? But I'm so glad I'm here. I am trying to just speak positivity. This year, it is all about positive relationships, positive experiences, positive manifestations, positive abundance and positive lifestyles. So today, I'm trying to bring some attention to some things based on things that have happened in my life with people that I love. And I'm tired of it happening. And I'm going to bring it up because I feel like people put stuff on Twitter and they think it's okay, or they put it on social media, and I don't know if they want attention from people that they don't know, or people that they do know, but I'm putting it out here for everybody because I'm gonna be the mama in the situation, and I'm gonna speak up on it. Okay, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. So like I said, positive experiences, positive people, and if you're not positive and you're not bringing positivity, then you're not going to be in my circle. I can tell you that right now. But the one thing I want to talk about is, things have taken a change in the way that things are being done today. Now, we can go all the way back and we can say that some men were not proactive in taking care of their children, their families, so on and so forth. We can also go back and say that some men, and I'm using men first, but I'm liking this to our generations that we've seen go through things historically, whether it is a culture, whether it is a um, gender, or just a group of people. This has nothing to do with that, and I'm gonna need all of the people in America and the other countries to stop focusing and being so sensitive when somebody uses him, she, they, their, them, because it don't necessarily mean that somebody's trying to disrespect you, but based on when they grew up, they don't know. They don't know you want to be a them or a they or a he or a hey or a she or a shay. So just calm down, first of all. But this ain't even about y'all. This is about generations of things that have happened and how they've come to a place now where women have emasculated men. And let me just break it on down for you, okay? So back in the day, it could easily be said that men did not father their children, or they weren't there for the wife or the woman or the baby mother, whatever the scenario is. Okay, let's say that. Let's say that that happened. Okay, we then come into an era where, after the Million Man March time, where people were like, especially African American men, were a little bit more proactive, some, in trying to make sure that they were fathers to their children. There have been men that have always been fathers to their children, but maybe they didn't get along with the baby mama no more. Okay, whatever the scenario is, what I'm talking about is now. I see a lot of you young men, and I can only go by African Americans, but there are some that are not African American, that are Anglo Saxon or Latino, okay? Asian, you know? And what I'm saying is, these girls that y'all have in your life, you're letting them manipulate you, run you, tear you down, and hold you back. Because if you are the type of dude that goes out there and you work for a living and you make good money, or you make some money, and the money that you make, you pretty much know how to budget it or put it in a place so that you can have what you want to have, whether you can budget or not. If you buying your Jordans and buying your Xbox games and so on and so forth, that's your business. As long as you're taking care of your children, if you have them. And I say that because basically, you bring these little bitches in, and don't get me wrong, bitches is not a nice word, but that's the word I'm using because that's the way I feel, okay? I don't feel that if I feel like bitches And a bitch is somebody that fits a criteria because of the way she carries herself and the things that she does. Her bitchy mood, her bitchy attitude, her bitchy not taking care of herself. Because to me, most men look at females as, like, if your mom wears her makeup and does her hair, does her nails, does her toes, wears perfume, nice clothes, and steps out, usually that's what you look for. But let me just break it down for you, brothers, sisters, brothers, and sisters, okay? As a mother of a son, okay, these are the expectations that I set for myself as a woman, because it starts first with me to make sure that I set the expectation so that I look good, so that I represent myself well, okay? Anything from there, I give to my son. Now, when my son grows or has grown to be an adult, I have to fall back a little bit and let him do his journey. What he does and what he doesn't do are things that I can no longer control as he has become this man, right? But what I can say to you is there's still encouragement that I give to him, and there's still a lot of reinforcements that I give to him because I love him and I only want the best for him and the best uh for him, the best experiences, the best of everything. But that's not always something that can happen because, again, it's his journey, it's not my journey. And so when I see things that are not falling into place, I might want to pull out every strand of hair that I have because I definitely want to vocalize and my opinion on that. But I have to bow down and allow him to be the man that he is and give him the space to do his journey. However, as I said, that the bitches that y'all be dealing with these days, okay? And again, I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but this is how I feel, and this is how a lot of mothers feel who have sons around the 20s to 30 ages. The females come in and they're jealous of the relationships that this male may have with their mother because they think that that man should be doing everything that they used to do for their mom for them. And let me be clear, don't get me wrong. You are supposed to treat your girlfriend right. Okay. And if she has any type of sense, she's going to pick a man that has good relationships with his mother and not be jealous of that shit. Because, for one, with the fact that you coming into a relationship with a dude that has a good relationship with his mother, do you not realize that that's an indication of how he'll treat you? Now, poke the bear if you want to. Okay. Because everybody has a limit. But when you get to a place where you poke the bear, I don't give a shit who's right and who's wrong. My whole point is don't disrespect each other. Okay? If you start disrespecting, and I'm talking to the women right now, because I feel like a lot of women, I'm not sure if some females grew up with a mom who yelled and cussed at them all the time. So when they come into this world and have a baby or they have a man, they think that they can cuss and yell at that man and those kids. And you can't. You need to show respect to get respect. And if you don't know how to give respect, then I suggest that you take a class on that. Because if you only get with someone and then, okay, first of all, I'm trying to keep my train of thought because I'm so hype about this right here that I keep losing what it is I want to say because I really want to go in order in terms of what I'm saying. First of all, I have come back with a vengeance. And I love people, I love everyone, but with or without the support of those who I have supported, I know my success is imminent. And I tell y'all this all the time. And if you're going to be with me now when I'm down and I'm out. Don't just jump on my bandwagon when I'm up and I'm thriving, because I'm not going to want to be bothered with you. And you're going to be the first one to say, oh, she too good for me. She too good for me. You damn right. Because at that point, if you wasn't good enough, if I wasn't good enough for you at my lowest, don't look for me at my highest. Just period. Okay? And with that being said, back to the females in the regard to you having a man and you yelling at your kids and yelling at this man and disrespecting them, you're emasculating him. Now, if you don't know what emasculation is, look it up. But what that means is when you sit here and you disrespect this man who you are laying up with and trying to marry or do whatever it is you want, because most females go into shit thinking they're going to get married to somebody. Well, maybe this dude don't want to get married, okay? But you don't know you bipolar, so you come in here and you fucking him all good, and next thing you know, he done lost his damn mind because basically his mentality is different at different stages than what a female's is. So when you start learning how to manipulate and regulating this man, then unfortunately he gets lost in the sauce, and next thing you know, he's not doing what you want him to do. And you know why? Because you manipulated him to be with you in the first place. And that wasn't where he was. That's not where he's at. And that ain't where he gonna be, because that ain't never where he wanted to be. So that's your fault. Okay, females? Listen to this. Now, let's say you are maybe ideologizing. I like words and I like to make them up sometimes. So, ideologizing that, oh, my mom, my dad, they had a perfect relationship. How the hell do you know that everything went the way that you think it did? Because your mom told you? Because your dad told you? Well, one of them left some shit out, because everything ain't gold, everything ain't rosy, and everything ain't rosy through gold colored glasses or rosy through rose colored glasses. Okay? People have problems. What matters is their ability to recover from those problems. Okay? And I remember a long time ago, Dr. Phil said both people cannot be mad at the same time. If you mad at the same time, you're screwed. Okay? So one person can be mad and the other person could just be like sensible. And at that point, you're making sure that somehow the sensible person is going to come through with some sense. Because the person that's angry and upset, mad, and pissed off, they can't think right. Okay? So now let's fast forward into our time and era. Excuse me. I'm driving. So that's why you see my kissy poo picture and my driving, my car in the background, because I'm driving. But let's fast forward to this time and era. Okay. So some of you females are out in these streets. You think you can change this man into your daddy. And if you can't love him for who he is, where he is, and why he is who he is, at the point of where he is, then it's never in 159,000, 1.523 5 million years gonna work. It's never gonna work. So you already out the gate messing up, trying to make this person into somebody else. Okay. Then if you take to the social media and you start running your mouth about what y'all do at home, and how somebody did this and somebody did that, then you damn sure sound even stupider, because why are you letting somebody know your weakness? They know people on Twitter just want to know your business. People on Instagram just want to know your business. They don't give two shits about whether you're right or he's right or she's wrong or you're wrong. But guess what? You look like a fool. And any type of man that needs to be or wants to be with a woman ain't gonna be with you if you gonna act like that. And y'all need to listen to the Drake songs for real. You might not like Drake. I love me some Drake. Hey Drake, how you doing? We gonna work together. Watch. I'm manifesting it right now. Drake will manage me, and I will be called Lady Drake. Hashtag Lady Drake. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. But you need to listen to him because he's deep and he goes in. And he says um, that basically, with females, y'all sit there and you think you want all this shit. Then when you get it, you don't know how to deal with it. Number one. Number two, he even talks about how he had a female who he thought was the one, but he found out, no, she wasn't the one. And it could be something as small as you not keeping yourself clean. You know, you smell yourself, and you smelled it 2 years ago, but now your nose done got used to the ripeness, and you don't take care of it because you can't smell it no more. Okay, well, who wants that? Okay, take care of yourself, wash yourself, clean yourself. Make sure not only are you clean in between, but that you clean in between your ears, because your mental is jacked up when you start doing all that mess where you putting all your business out in these streets, because these streets don't care two shits about you. They only want to talk about you, and the fact that you think you got a village behind you when you don't is what's really messed up, because basically people are not going to be representing some craziness. Because guess what? If you want to go out into the world and talk negatively about someone you're supposed to be with, then every week it comes back again. How much more so are people that you think are representing you are out there in these streets trying to say, oh, yeah, that's my friend. I got her back. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. They're going to be looking at you like you some type of idiot, because why'd you go back if it's that bad? Question mark, hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. Why? So that's the past generation and the current generation. The difference is that back then they just didn't come around. They were tired of the mouth. They were tired of being emasculated. But they didn't know how men didn't know how to speak their mind. The only thing that they knew how to do was leave, and that's why they left. That's why some kids didn't grow up with parents, two parents. They only grew up with one parent, because the woman basically was spending so much time running her mouth, talking all that noise, not representing her man, not being there for her. And I'm not going to say that they're not supportive, because yeah, they start off like that, but even females forget how to communicate. And so unfortunately, as women, we get into this rut of not sharing our feelings. And I'm telling myself, I'm never, ever, ever again going to be that female that doesn't speak her mind. If if we're kissing and you kissing me the wrong way, the or you hold me and you hold me the wrong way and it don't feel good to me, I'm not going to pretend like I like it just because I like you, just because you're cute, just because I don't want you to not be mad at me because I'm not telling you because I tell you how I feel and you don't like it. The thing about it is I looked at it, and I looked at relationships where there's females who are very confident and very strong about who they are, where they are, and what they want out of life. And when they verbalize that and they communicate that to that partner, you know what? That structure is started in that relationship. And the structure in that relationship becomes a better foundation, because that is when you're teaching a man or the person in your relationship that you're with how to treat you. And if you miss the mark on this, ladies or gents, then you're screwed. Because technically what's happening is you didn't tell someone how you felt. You allowed it to go on forever and a day, a year or two. But really, 3 months is enough time for you to see that El Nino has created a freaking hurricane, okay, and a storm, and has bought a traumatic uh 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 emergency need for evacuation in your territory, okay? And if you stay, what kind of precedents are you setting for yourself, people? What kind of voice are you using to advocate for you? You are the person that advocates for you. You speak better for you than anybody else. You go to a job interview, okay? And you want to tell them how well you can answer the phone, type a letter, cook a steak. You're going to go and base it on the experience that you had and the feeling that you had from that scenario, right? You're not going to sit up there and let somebody else tell you tell someone else. You might need references, okay? And that's what a reference does. They speak on your behalf, but they don't speak about you as good as you speak about you. Because in the end, the interviewer is going to come back to you and be like, well, hey, Sally, hey, Bob, I got one of your references back, and they said that you were able to put this on your steak, and you didn't tell me that. Okay. And so now you come back with, oh, right. I made that for them specifically. So I actually know how to customize things. You learn how to use the words that people receive. Okay. And in this particular interview, the word customization is going to be a buzzword for that interviewer who's you're telling about your work and the artistry that you have on mastering this steak. Okay. So same scenario. Let's take you, for instance. You don't like somebody calling you a bitch and you're a man. What the hell is a woman calling a man a bitch for? Okay. Now, if you're a bitch, then take it. Wear the crown and wear it gracefully. But you know you're not a bitch. Don't just sit there, play your PlayStation, and be like, oh, I ain't gonna say nothing because she'll shut up in a minute. Fuck that. Oh, sorry. Anyway, forget that. The reality is that it has gone on through one too many PlayStation episodes, okay? You all the way up in the big leagues on the PlayStation because anytime you get pissed off, mad, angry, upset, you go and hermit yourself to the PlayStation. The PlayStation becomes your escape. Or not even the PlayStation, the weed, or not even the weed, but your boy's house. You ain't never at home no more because you always at your boy's house. Next thing you know, he got his friend coming over. She got her friend coming over. She see you, she think you single. You start lying. Next thing you know, you fucking her. You're sleeping with her and you're not being dedicated to the relationship that you have back at home. But you've checked out. So, fellas, let me just tell you that this is 2024. This is the year of the king, the year of the queen. And I ain't even got to the females yet because really, I'm a little mad about the females right now. And I love y'all and I'm a woman, yes indeed. But at the same time, I could never be y'all. Could never be y'all. And in the sense of saying that you are so angry, some of you, I'm angry today, but trust and believe I have worked on DeanaMarie. And I love the woman that I have become because I am so zen and unbothered by most things. But fuck with my child, fuck with my grandbabies, and we have a problem. And I'm sorry. I know that there might be people listening and they hear my mouth, but this is the true me. This is the transparent me. This is the me that I love, and this is the me that I want you to love. I will try to refrain. Please leave comments, vocalize your opinions, and I will tweak things to accommodate your ears. But when I am passionate about things, these are the words that come out of my mouth. And I'm sorry. But the thing about it is that back to the situation at hand, I am a mother of a son. Okay. I have a beautiful son. He is an amazing man. He is a beautiful father. Okay. Now, I will take credit that he did not see relationships in our home because by the time he was 4, his dad and I were divorced. Now, going forward, when I was a kid, my mom never brought men in our house, and I didn't see her married. Okay. So you see where I'm going, right? History repeats itself. And I reach out to my son all the time and I say, I apologize to you if I didn't teach you how to have a relationship. But I beg you to stop having them until you're ready for them. Because the people, the women, that you choose to bring into your life will emasculate you mentally and emotionally, okay? To the point where you will feel as if you are not worthy of being loved. And that is bullshit all day, every day, okay? So With that being said, we got several things that show how wonderful of a man he is. He takes care of his kids. He's an awesome father. He takes care of his female friends as well. You know, if you can roll up and you can get a free trip or a free cruise, some gifts for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? You want to be nice when it's birthdays, Christmas, and you want to sit up here and talk shit to your friends about how you going to bilk this nigga out of this and out of that. Oops, I didn't mean to use the N word. Sorry. You know, our culture. Sorry, everybody, our culture. Um, how you going to bilk this guy out of this and out of that or whatever? You have have karma coming for you. And the only thing that I know that can help, whether it's my son or my friend's son or whoever's son or daughter, is our prayers and the ability for them to be answered and the manifestation that's being placed out there in the universe. Because I believe in that. And the reality check that comes with all of this is that when people decide that they're going to do something that is hurtful and deceptive and manipulative and crazy, you know, fix your bipolar. Okay, get on medication because the weed ain't helping. It ain't helping. And people smoke and they think it's going to fix it. It's not. You need to be on medication so you can understand what it is like to be normal. That's what the medicine does, is it normalizes you. Some people smoke the wrong weed. And when they smoke the wrong cannabis, it makes them either more agitated or lazy or overweight because you're eating out of norm. You know, learn about the marijuana that you smoke and see if you can find something that helps you. There's something called trikes. And the trikes in the marijuana are basically what get you high and what make you have the sensation. And it depends on how the farmer grew what he grew. But those trikes are what's important in terms of getting your mental or health. If you do it for mental reasons or you do it for anxiety, those are things that are important that you need to learn about. So those of you who started smoking weed and having sex and doing all kind of other things when you was 17, 16, that's why you don't need to be doing that when you 16 and 17, because you don't know enough to understand what you should be doing to make sure that you're doing it right. Okay, so that's that. Okay, that's that. But with all of that being said, in addition to, therefore, and thus, comma, and semicolon, you also need to be mindful of what it is that you need and when you need it. Now, I'm going to flip over a little bit into Anglo-Saxon and compare Anglo-Saxon to the I can't say minority because I don't feel African Americans are minorities anymore. I don't feel Latinos are minorities anymore. And Asian people may be a slight minority population in our culture and in our United States. But I say all of the brown people, BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color, okay? I say this to us. Anglo Saxon marriages, it doesn't matter because I'm not even going into that whole why is it this and why is it that. I'm saying, I'm using Anglo-Saxon marriages and families as a preface to what I'm saying to our females in our different cultures who are emasculating their men. And I'm gonna tell you a story about even a Latino lady who was with a gringo and how she did in my Uber. And I was just like, damn, and he was fine. He was so fine. I was like, I hope he does not stay with her. But anyway, and it doesn't matter what he did to her. You never, ever, ever have the right to go that low on a man because you're at fault, because you are there. You do not stay in something after the first time if it is that hurtful to you. And if you do, you deserve everything that you get. That's on you. But anyway, back to what I was saying about Anglo-Saxon and relationships. Now, white women and white men and their parents have always been married. Not always, but most of the time. They didn't have dysfunctional families until I want to say 90s, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. But in the 90s, you started seeing more Anglo-Saxon families have uh, what they call dysfunctional families. And I remember hearing that word and I kept saying, what does dysfunctional mean? And I might have been in high school. Wait a minute. No, I might have been just a young adult. So probably as young as some of you who I'm speaking about right now, 24. And, when I was young like that, basically, I didn't know the meaning of stuff. So when I heard dysfunctional, I'd always say, what is dysfunctional? What do they mean by dysfunctional? Who's dysfunctional? Blah, blah, blah. And at the time, every black person or African American person I knew was dysfunctional because they didn't have a father or they didn't have their parents weren't married. So the dysfunction label became into effect more so when Anglo-Saxons started having babies out of wedlock. Okay, look it up and comment if you disagree or agree or whatever. But the reason I bring that up is because when I'm and I y'all have no idea. I come in contact with a lot of people on my Uber and I love them and I always get amazing people, whether they're black, white, Latino. They might talk shit when they get out. I don't know about it because in here they just the best thing since sliced bread. And we have great, great conversations. As you can imagine, I'm a talker, so therefore in thus, comma, and the semicolon, I love to talk. There are people who don't want to talk. But it's funny because sometimes they'll do comfort. In Uber Comfort, if you don't know, you can specify what you want your temperature like and whether or not you want somebody to talk to you or not. But sometimes they'll get in here and it'll be comfort and they still end up having a great conversation with me and thank me for it. But the reason why some of them say they don't is because people don't want to talk about Israel or they don't want to talk about Africa or they don't want to talk about America or they don't want to talk about the news. And some Uber drivers just over like stimulate their anxiety by the negative stuff that's going on in the world. But when me and my passengers have conversations, I ask about them. They hear about me. We talk, and it's a great conversation to be had. But that is a whole nother story. That just goes with how I have progressed as a woman and how much I love being the person that I am now. And because of that, that allows creativity and it brings in positivity and high vibrating people and a beautiful sensation in terms of the dialect that goes on between us and it's never a negative thing. And that's what I'm bringing to you guys. So, with the fact that Anglo-Saxon was always married, they were taught, they got married, they had their children while they were married, they raised their children. And I used to say, oh, I hate when people say, I stayed with him for the children. I get why a person stays with somebody for the children now. Come on. I'm sorry. Y'all just don't understand how these people drive in LA. They just do the dumbest stuff. And I wasn't even gonna yell, but I couldn't help it. And this person right here, they see a Uber sign in the window and it's got $1 million policy on the Uber. So they pull in front of me in a raggedy car thinking I'ma hit them. They not getting no money today. My Uber sign is off. Get the freak out of here. Anyway, moving on. Therefore and thus, see how Satan comes in, kind of try to get me like on the low low. But that's all right. I'm still that woman. I'm still her. But what I'm saying is they were taught to be married. Mother, father, kids, they their children grew up and saw structure in their home. So what happens? They grow up and repeat the same thing. And oftentimes I would wonder, I'm like, dang, how did that person get married? How did that person? And some people just marry the first thing that comes to them, whatever, and it may not last. I'm not saying do that, but what I am saying is, young people, start taking more time. for yourself. When you get out of high school, don't just jump out the house and decide that because you are now emancipated and in college, or maybe you don't go to college, maybe just get an apartment with your best friend and she ain't got herself together, but you go with her, and next thing you know, both y'all looking crazy because didn't nobody pay the rent and there's an eviction on your door. The thing about it is, if you don't learn these morals and values, and you don't learn how to do the things that you're supposed to do on your own through the journey that you're supposed to be on, then you're gonna make mistakes, and it's okay that you make mistakes. But then you're gonna add a guy or a female into the mix, and then you mess them up because now you crazy. Okay? And it's unfortunate, but it's true. It's true. Why would you go and do something like that? You're sitting up here, talking bad about people, as somebody that you claim that you love, but you can't know love if in fact you are doing those kinds of things. You can't know love. And that's why I'm sharing with you today, people. You've got to get your mind right. And if your mind isn't right, then how much better are you going to be in the grand scheme of things for any other person? You can't be. You just can't be. So I hope and pray that this resonates with you, and and you fix it, because the bottom line and the top of the line is you should be there at the top of the line. Okay. And if somebody can't come into your sphere and keep you there and enhance you, then guess what? They should not be in your sphere, your circle, your circumference, none of that. They should not be there, period. You can go out and do bad all by yourself. For certain. For certain you can. That's first of all. And second of all, if in fact you're in a relationship where these things continue to happen and they keep manifesting in such a way that it's making life miserable for you, then all you need to do basically is decipher what it is that's creating this barrier between you and your mental, that you are not able to disengage from this person. Okay? Is it the sex? Okay? Is it something that they promised you, and in them saying that they were going to do something and then they reneged on it because they no longer are doing it? Find out what it is, break it all the way down. Okay? I'm serious, y'all. This is something that I've done for myself. And when we have my podcast, and I tell you about certain things about me and what I've had to go through and what I've done, I don't mean to steer the conversation about me or make the conversation about me. That's not why I'm telling you that. I'm sharing it with you because I found things helpful. And some of the things that I found helpful were to break down what it is that I'm feeling. If I am going through a situation, and when I am in that situation, I feel some kind of way, or I notice a particular behavior, or something triggered something, you know, I say, wow, this is an epiphany. I have had an awakening of a sense to a situation, because at this point in my life, I realized that this is the reason that I did so and so and such and such. And in that moment, I'm able to say, now, how am I going to fix that? And so when it comes down to it, it's about you discovering what it is you want, what it is you have, and why it is that you do not have what you want. And when you do that, you're going to discover that you will be able to begin to work on some of the issues that have created some of the problems for you in a relationship. and even in yourself. Because a lot of this, guys and gals, is because you are responsible for yourself. And a lot of times, what your girlfriend or your boyfriend is going through is none of your business. And y'all have heard me say this before, it's none of your business. It's none of your business because you cannot change it. And if you mind your business, you can fix it within you, not them, but within you. So that's the reason why you got to mind your business. And when you mind your business, you fix what's going on with you so that you can move on and give this person an opportunity to live their life away from you so that they can figure out what they need to do. But then that's your decision. That's a decision you have to make. These are just tidbits of information that help you get in a better place and to get on a better trajectory so that you can see and understand what it is that's going to make your life better. And it's very sad when I see people that I care about being um, disrespected. And even if that they did something to someone who's disrespecting them, there's a specific way you handle that. And everybody and their mom and their mom's mom and dad and their dad's dad don't need to be reading it from social media, because social media is a forever scar and it can jeopardize you if you're putting it out there and you're looking for a job. Because guess what? People go to your social media these days and they can find you, despite you thinking that they can't. They can find you. They have all kind of AI tools now that can find you. Whether you think you hiding under a name or not, they can find you. And then when they find you, what makes you think they're gonna give you a job when you acting and you're ranting and raving and you out here acting like the Unabomber? Okay, you can't be out here acting like the Unabomber and professing that you know the Mother Teresa, because you know you're lying. We know you're lying because we see it. So the reality hits home, don't it? It hits home. And see, the thing about it is, you can come to me and you can say, well, I go with your son and he did this to me. So what? I don't care. Just quit putting that shit out on the social media trap. Because reality check, all I care about is me making sure that I got his back. And that's always how it's going to be. It's not coming through to be like who's right, who's wrong. I don't got shit to do with that. But I also don't think that it's for everybody else to be seeing. And I ain't telling nobody nothing that they don't know and they ain't seen, because people don't hit me up about it. Okay? So you got something to say to me, you got my number. Anybody, everybody. And I'm ready. And everybody knows I don't run from it. So I'm not scared of nobody that hangs with a gang or that is thinks they in the gang. Cause child, please don't get me on one. And I swear I done changed, but I will take a lapse for a person that thinks that they get ready to take over in a mental state of mind. No, ma'am. No, sir. You're not doing it today. But anyway, I hope that it resonates with you and you and you and you and you and that you fix it, because you don't want mama on the scene. Okay? You don't want mama on the scene. And I done got to the point now where, when I want to talk about something and when I want to sing about something and when I want to act or do whatever, a role or whatever, I'm going to do it. Because I have been protecting people for far too long that I love and that I care about. And no more. No, sir. No, ma'am. I'm not protecting no more. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing that. I'm fighting for what I want. I'm getting what I want. And I'm going to have what I need. Period. Period. The end. Period. The end. Move. Get on over. Shoot. Anyway, but with all that being said, y'all really need to check yourself. because the stuff y'all be doing out here and this on this internet. And then if it's not that, you know what I'm saying? You think that I don't know what you think. I don't even that's not even my concern. My main point though is that when it comes down to you trying to better yourself, think about how bad you look when you're doing something in opposition to the betterment of you. Nobody's looking at you and saying, wow, she sure knows how to cuss somebody out. Damn, I want to be like that. Nobody's saying that. Nobody is saying that. And it's not a matter of a positive influence when you are, let's say you do music, okay? Look at how many people. Now I'm gonna use Erica Mena as an example. Okay, she called Blue a very derogatory name that is a trigger, and knowingly people should not say. Wait, okay, it's up there. Should not say to someone of color, and it got her fired off the show. She no longer is on Love and Hip Hop because of it. Now, whether they bring her back or not is totally up to them. But the reality is that she has been fired off of the show and she's no longer on there. And she was one of the longest standing people on Love and Hip Hop. But see, this again goes to the point of people not like I get that a lot of us can possibly suffer from mental illness, and our anxieties make us, it triggers us in a way that prevents us from being a better person. So let's start right there because that happens because of habit. Okay. When you as an individual become triggered by something, and at that moment in time you don't stop and do what it takes to redirect or reset yourself, you create a habit of being able to just go off at the flip of a dime because you feel justified, and there's no justification in that. So that's where you need to break things down and become a better you and fix whatever it is that is creating the diversity that you're having within yourself. Because you're not getting along with yourself when you do that. You can't possibly think that that's a positive, and some of us feel really, really bad afterwards. I mean, seriously. And I get it because I have felt bad. I could say I have felt really bad. So a lot of times when it comes down to it, I'm just trying to make sure that I get through every single day. And a lot of times shared with you all about meditation, and I can't tell you what to do and what works for you. I know what works for me. And what works for me is I have meditated and I have put myself in a place where I was able to get back on task and get myself in a comfortable spot so that I could break down what was going on. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can reset from here. You know, something might make me feel upset, angry, or just whatever, uh, dissatisfied or whatever. But then I can get myself in a place where I'm back on track, because a lot of times when I just go get quiet, and that's what meditating means, is that I quiet my brain, I quiet my room, I quiet my area. Yeah, you have outside noises, outside influences, outside things that come in, but I quiet things down for me because in that moment, I'm able to rethink. And during COVID and all of that, where we were kind of like confined indoors, and I was really like by myself. Um, I mean, at the time I had family here and I would see them, or sometimes I wouldn't. It just depends. Pretty much stayed to myself because for mostly I'm an introvert, and I love being by myself. I love being able to um, process things on my own. And it took me that couple of years And I started breaking things down, and I started seeing things and realizing things. And to be honest, I think that that was what we were all supposed to do. And some people did, and some people didn't. And because some people did and some people didn't, it may or may not have created a, a better lifestyle or atmosphere for them. So, depending on what people did with that time, they may or may not have been able to, come out a better person or rejuvenated, so to speak. But with that, I implore you, you guys and gals, to do this, because when you do this, you're going to see how much better you come out. Are you still going to get angry? Are you still going to get upset? Of course. But you'll get to a place where you'll never, ever, ever allow yourself to believe that you entered into a relationship because somebody else basically made you, or you did it for the sake of somebody else, is my point. Okay? You're going to get into that relationship because, number one, that person treats you the way that you want to be treated. And at the beginning, they do. But where things go awry is that you have an expectation. You can't have an expectation of somebody. You can only have expectations for yourself. And I love putting out my content, and it's very disappointing to me because of certain things and things that are not happening fast enough. But it's okay, because this is what I love to do, and my heart is in it. And I feel as long as I'm transparent and as long as I give what I want to it, I will succeed. And I know this unequivocally. And all of the things that are happening at a different time and space than where I'm at the moment, because it's not time yet. And then when it's time, everything will sync up and automatically unalign properly and align properly so that I will be successful. But with that being said, it's also all about the journey. And I've heard people say this before, but what this means is the journey that I'm on right now is taking me through a process that is making me a better woman, a better mother, a better grandmother, and eventually a better wife to the man that I know is coming, to the man that I know will love me the way that I need him to love me. So I don't worry about relationship stuff because all of those things are coming. And what I love the most, and this is the reason why I can speak about it, is that I have taken the time to get to know myself, to love myself, to be with myself and understand who I am and where I am. So that way I can have what I want and what I need from the individual man that's going to come into my life. And I know what I won't accept. And the only way for me to have found that out was for me to take the time that I needed to get to know who I was, to love who I was, who I am, and to accept things the way that I want them, and to be able to learn how to teach someone how to treat me. And that's the issue that we're talking about here, guys, is that you teach people how to treat you. And either they will or they won't treat you properly. And if they do, great. And if they do not, it's your responsibility. So make sure that you let people know what you will accept and what you won't accept, and what you'll tolerate and what you won't tolerate. Because they're going to abuse you if they can, especially when they're hurting. That's the unfortunate part. Hurt people. And when they are not in a good place, you will never be able to get them in that better place because they are not trying to do it for themselves. They're basically coming and taunting you and telling you all the things wrong with you, because at the moment that they're in this place, it makes them feel better. It makes them feel as if they are always the person that everybody looks to for answers, and they always have the answers for you. And then, excuse me, it should make you wonder how they can have the answers for you, but not for themselves. And that's where we're at. They have the answers for you, but they don't have the answers for themselves. And so that's where you come in. And that's where you start to make sure that anything that you bring in and embrace into your world is brought in or embraced based on the ethnicity of the individual coming with it. And if the not ethnicity, the authentication, sorry, authenticity of that person, the air is so dry, Ellen. If the authenticity of that person is not legit and they're not bringing it in to where they can pretty much embrace the things that they're trying to direct you to do, if they're not doing it for themselves, then they are definitely not going to do them for you, with you, and because of you. So in that scenario, it's going to be a case where they're going to continue to be miserable and bring misery to you. And misery loves company. Excuse me. And I want everyone to listen to this and listen to it again. And I'm going to upload the recording to my Spotify. And I am going to, so that it shoots out to all the platforms. And I'll put the link on Instagram and, excuse me, Facebook and some of the other platforms and social media sites for you guys, because this is a real wake up call for all of you. You've got to love you, and if you don't love you, who's gonna love you like you love you? Nobody. 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 So let's get with it, guys. I love you guys. I am doing a condensed version today because technically I am still trying to work on the platform where I'm able to do the phone call. And I really am wanting to, I'm going to give a number. I'm going to get my numbers set up. I am moving. So my apartment right now is very, small, and I have a lot of stuff, and it's just not set up for me to be live. So, and I'm hustling. So while I'm doing that, I can do this too. So I may kind of reduce my podcast to an hour for now so that I can just kind of vamp back up. But I just wanted to bring myself back into the game. And I wanted all of you guys to embrace the situation that I am telling and talking to you about, because this is a magnitude, like you don't know, you don't know where people are in life, so you definitely don't want to add insult to injury and create problems to people where you could be causing them misery. And next thing you know what I'm saying? Bad things happen. So, anyway, I love you guys. I wish you the best in the week to come. I'm going to see and talk to you. I won't see you, but I'll talk to you next Thursday. But you see this little kissy face every week, it'll look a little different because I'm going to send you this kiss so that you know I'm rolling, rolling, rolling. And I'm out here in these streets trying to make things happen. So y'all get it crack-a-lacking and let's get it popping. And come on and listen to my podcast. But more so than anything, be looking for the phone number so you can call in. I dare you. No, I hope to hear from you guys. I love you guys. I'm sorry again if I offended anyone, but this is coming from my heart. Thank you, and y'all have a good and a blessed week. Talk to you soon.